What's up, everybody? Welcome to Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. We're kicking off the stream here. Let me make it so you can see what I see. How's everybody feeling out there in the market today? And there we are. All right. Well, these are the crypto bubbles for today. And the first thing I want to say is that when you toggle your drop down of 1 through 1,000 here, only 5 to 600 has any green, and everything is like between, flat and 2%, but mostly under 1% here, under 2%, I should say. Melissa says her internet is freezing on her. Okay, well, we will be here when somehow that gets figured out. Anyways, my whole point here is that it's mostly kind of flat on the day, nothing too amazing. Let me open Trading View so I have it in the background if we want to switch over there. I'm sure there's quite a few people over at the Lifers members only stream, and I'm sure they'll roll in whenever that's over. But the show must go on. The show must continue. It's a Thursday. Welcome in, welcome in. See what BTC is doing right this second. I'm opening Trading View, like I said, in the background. Looks like we are at 69,966. I told you guys it probably wasn't going to be straight up from here. BTC never tends to do what you want it to do. Anyways, River's down 7.7% at a low of $23.66. But the big bubbles here are 11% down for Siren, 10% down for Wild, but Kite AI is up 12.3%. Let's see, what did it make a high of? 21 cents, almost 21.5 cents. So if you're holding that coin, you're happy about that on a day like today. Let's drop down another 100, see what we got going on. All right, finally seeing a little bit of green. So the big red bubbles, Frax is down 16.5% and Bard is down 12.9%, call it 13%. And if I'm correct, it was down quite a bit yesterday too. Man, this thing really did drop from $1. It dropped like almost 50% here so fast. That is really interesting. I don't know a lot about Lombard, like we've gone over it and stuff, but it's not something I'm super interested in, not something I hold a lot of. But let's talk about some green here. You got Unify Network up 43% on the day. Xano's up 18.9%. Zebekin up 11%. I know Bankroll and all those people will be very glad to see that. Aether is up 8.2%. And of course, Grass is up 5, let's call it 5%, 4.9% to 40 cents, a high of 40 cents. Right now, it's only at 39. Let's drop down another 100. We only do usually down to 300. Let's see. Bitway down 15.2%. Velos down 13%. Sahara AI is up 14.4%. Tria up 18%. Beat up 14%. And the Sign, which I've talked a lot about, is not one of my favorite coins. It is up 10%. All right, let's move along. Let's do our price rundown while we wait for people to trickle in. And some people said they were having internet problems. I'm sad to hear that. I'm sure that they will come back and join us soon. There's only 3 people here with us. That is one for the history books. That's probably the lowest I've ever seen. Anyways, Bitcoin 69,779. Now I understand why there's only a few people here, because everybody's probably sulking after we lost quite a bit. Let's go to the 7-day chart for BTC here. Obviously, I can pull up Trading View, but this is just for a quick view. And yeah, we really did fall from 74 pretty much straight down to a local low of 69 to, I call it 69,300 for all intent purposes. A little bounce, and then where do we go from there? They are going to flush the market every time before you get a move. And when there's a move and people get excited, they're going to flush the market. It's just absolute treachery a lot of the time, but we are back above 70,000. Hopefully we can hold it, but we'll see. Ethereum looking pretty much the same, $2,133. XRP $1.45, BNB $638, Solana $88, Dogecoin 9 cents, Cardano 26 cents. Some of this stuff looks like it's holding up pretty all right. Hyperliquid $39. Let's see how we how we fare over the weekend, right? That's kind of, and we got another stream tomorrow and another stream Saturday. So I'll be right here with you going over it, taking a look at it. Chainlink, $9. Monero, $338. Canton Network, 14 cents. XLM, 16.5 cents. Avalanche, $9.46. HBAR, 9 cents again. For all intent purposes. SWE, 95 cents, so it's back on sale under $1. MemeCore, $1.81. And MemeCore still up 23.7% in the last 7 days, so I like that for MemeCore for sure. That project seems pretty strong to me, I gotta say. And of course, I've got MemeX up, where I'm enjoying the interactions that I have over there quite a bit, even though it is your meme kind of degen people, right? But it's like a Web3 Twitter. So I think it's a really cool idea. It might take a little while to catch on. The Deadwood says, what's up? What's up, man? Thanks for coming in. I've noticed you've been coming the last couple of days. I appreciate you big time. Just doing our price rundown while we're waiting for people to come in. The Lifer is doing his members only stream tonight, so I think there will be a few people who will be a little late to the party. And we're going to see where Flare is, so I can tell the King of Flare when he comes in. So it's number 84 by market cap. Now let's take a look at what is trending. All right, here we are. So BitTensor, of course, seems really strong right now. I mean, look at that 7-day chart right above my head. I'll pull it up so we can take a look at it. And it just bounced from like 245 up to where it is now at 277 with a local high of, say, 281. BitTensor looking strong. AI stuff looking strong. Of course, BitTensor is probably the most serious project. And if you go to their website, they seem very serious. A little dry. Templar, which is subnet. SN stands for subnet. That's how you know it is in the BitTensor ecosystem, or TAO. Sometimes you say BitTensor and people don't know what you're talking about. And then you say TAO and they're like, oh, yeah, I own some of that. And it's like, you should come to my stream because I don't think you know what you're investing in. Anyways, not that I give financial advice, just research. Hyperliquid, Bitcoin, Caspa, Solana, Pudgy Penguins, World Liberty Finance, Unify, we talked about that. Katana, we talked about yesterday. Chart doesn't look all that great for Katana, but it is trending for some reason. We got Aster, Akash Network, Grass, and Aave. Now, what really seems like we should talk about it, let's talk about Templar, because that seems interesting, and I bet a lot of people don't know what it is. 94.9 million in market cap, so almost at 100 million market cap. It's got 21 million max supply, but the current circulating supply is only 4.2 million. That's very low, and who knows when any of those tokens are going to be coming out. Let's go to their website. Incentivized internet-wide AI training. So, of course, being a part of TAO, this is what I would expect, right? I would expect nothing less from something like this to be somehow intertwined with AI, the growth of AI, the training of AI, all of that stuff. Let's see. There's no up or down on this website. They do have a Get Started button. Oh, and that just takes you straight to GitHub. So you have to be a full bona fide AI developer or something to really use, or I guess even care about that project. But I like it for what it is. I wouldn't invest in it necessarily because I don't really know what it is. Another thing that I thought would be worth going over is this Unify network. I see it quite a bit. It looks really good on the 7-day. Let's see, from about 41 cents to about 59 cents, up 69.5% in the last 7 days. Deadwood says, love Tau, keeps rejecting off the 200. As resistance, I assume. And Campsta in the building. What's up, Campsta? Thank you for coming to the show tonight. 140.5 million in market cap for Unify, or UAI. 1 billion max supply, 239 million circulating supply. It says chat.unify.network, so I'm assuming it has chat functions. Why would they put chat in their website like that unless it did? All right, then you got like a dashboard. We've launched a newly designed website. Oh, so we can go to the new website. Is it a Web3? Okay. So they have kind of changed it up here. Interesting. Discovery agents. Explore and deploy AI trading agents with proven track records. Filter by strategy type and start earning passive income. So I guess they're making it easy to use some of these bots. I'd want to know how easy, right? Polymarket auto farming. Looks like 7-day ROI is 0.3%. This mushed out punch strategy you could lose 16%. I don't know if that's a day or what. This is very interesting stuff. This one over here, this trader mush, with this you could lose 35%. I don't even need a bot to lose 35%. I could do that all by myself. Maybe you should use me instead. Give me all your monies. No, I'm just kidding. Don't even message me about it. Says pretty good, thanks. How you doing, man? I'm great. I'm here. It's another stream. I'm enjoying what I do and deep diving some crypto and looking into stuff. To me, that's a win. Just showing up every day is a win for me because that means the train keeps going. And these are Unify I had never really looked into too much. I had been on their old website. It's not as nice as their new website. I think they're trying to make it easy to use this stuff, but I'm still a little bit confused on how to deploy a lot of this stuff. It's something it's on my list right now to really dig into and to get deeper into so that I can bring it to all of you guys. Crypto's so big. This is why we need a community, because it's so big and therefore you can't be a master of everything, right? That's interesting. When I hit create an agent, it takes me back to their old website. So maybe they don't have that up on the new website yet. And then with a lot of these bots, they just say like copy strategy, select a wallet, and then you can enable it. So that's the easiest. One thing I'm always looking for with these AI agents and trading bots is how easy is it to deploy? And I mean, I didn't deploy it, so I don't exactly know, but I would say that this is looking like you just connect a wallet and then probably have to sign an agreement of some sort, and then you can run the strategy. That's pretty cool. Now, I wouldn't run this one. Let's see. Total P&L, they've lost $30,000. Is that legit? Because that seems terrible. A little weary of bots. I mean, bots could be taken advantage of, right? Bots have a certain way that they do things, and when they're that black and white, it'd be easy to take advantage of them, in my opinion. I do like their new website better, but they need to integrate the other parts as far as copying strategy. They don't have that in this new website. Anyways, just want to make sure everybody knew what Unify was, because I have seen it pump quite a bit, and people seem to be pretty bullish on it, right? It had this nice pump today. Katana, not to be confused with Katana Inu, which was a game that we looked at but never really panned out, and that's why I haven't gone back to revisit it, because I haven't seen it trending or anything about it. 23.9 million in market cap for Katana, pretty low market cap. Let's go to katana.network and see what they're all about. DeFi deserves better, so does your capital. So it's all about capital. I would put it in a financial realm, but it also seems like, let's open the app. It also seems like there's a little bit more to it. So you come right in, you have a dashboard, as many of these financial type coins projects do. So you could earn probably from yields. Let's see what we got. Let's toggle the API. I know we just looked at this the other day, or APY, not API. That's a totally different thing. 12.8% for this AUSD vault. I'm pretty sure it was like 15 the other day. But when you see the APY, always be wary to kind of hover over it. And you'll see native APY is 9%, right? And then you have these other ones tacked on. Cat-based rewards, app rewards, and net APY. So that's all of them together, right? So they're not all coming from the same place. You're not getting like a straight USDT or AUSD. You have some cat-based rewards, and you're probably going to have to cash those in and hope that they don't fluctuate on you. So that can make it a little different when you're calculating what you should earn from it. Very different. Like right here, it says earn up to 33% staking cat. And again, you're probably getting a bunch of rewards. Rewards auto compound. Then you got fees, I guess more rewards, incentives, and auto voting. And you got this kind of circle here. This AV cat is the governance token of this project. Let's see, they don't really give us more information about rewards. And then they have quests. So if you ever wanted to do quests in crypto, be like a crypto night, MMORPG or something like that. No, the quests are always like this. So verify your wallet, connect to X, and then they usually want you to follow like a bunch of people within their community and stuff like that. Yeah, here you are. So anyways, that's Cat. It's another financial product. Notice a trend here? All right, we are caught up on the chat. And then, of course, Cyrene, which I would prefer not to have to go over because there's really nothing to it and their website never works. Binance Alpha Spotlight, 4.meme ecosystem. Cyrene is supposed to be like an AI agent. And the last 7 days, they look pretty all right. They're up 40%. See the 24-hour, they're down 10. The month, 273%. So it's been pumping. Not the type of thing I'd like to put my chips in, but everybody do as they please, right? Let's move over. Take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. Look at that. Don't you just feel right at home with the Fear and Greed Index at 11? I was getting a little uncomfortable, guys, seeing the Fear and Greed Index up so high as 23, 22%. It's just uncomfortable. I feel much better now that we're back into our regular territory of 11. Of course, I'm completely kidding. It sucks. Again, it's not a measurement of price for BTC or anything like that, or all-time market cap. Although that does come into it, it's more of a sentiment in the market. And of course, they have like a bar graph down here. You see we actually got to pump up a little bit, and it looks like maybe we're falling back down. Not what everybody wanted to see. Let's put it that way. I think a lot of people were starting to get a little more optimistic for BTC. But you also have to remember how early we are in Bitcoin. If you're in Bitcoin, I'm not. I hold a lot of other things. But how early we are in crypto or blockchain technology in general. The altcoin index at 49 is chilling at 50 yesterday. So we're still pretty much in that middle mark where the market's just confused. That's what I take from it. I don't take it like we're halfway to altcoin season or halfway to Bitcoin season. Depending on what you hold is what you're excited. If you hold mostly Bitcoin, you're not excited about altcoin season, or vice versa. So anyways, I see it more as like indecision. We're not really in Bitcoin season. We're not really in altcoin season. We're just somewhere hanging out in the middle. Let's roll over to what's trending on Crypto Rank. So Soilcoin is being promoted here. We have Wisdomize AI. It's a cool name. Never heard of that. We'll check that out for sure. Fabric Protocol, we've been all over it. Nexterio, we've been all over it. Let's make it the top 20 and not the top 10. We need a little bit more than that. All right, there we go. So Soil is new on the radar. Thena, we'll check that out. I don't really know what that is. Everlyn, Bondex, we've been looking at a lot of these lately. IDOS. Obel Technologies, Sign is back on the radar. Nibiru, if you know, you know. We'll check that out. I don't know what this project is. I know what Nibiru, you know, the lore, if you will, the planet. Bitcoin, Centrifuge, Zama, Ethereum, Sui, Starknet on the radar, Pax Gold, not surprising, and Solana. So where do we start? Do we want to look at Soilcoin? I don't really, but we'll take a look at it for a second. Soilcoin is the utility ticken, not a token, but a ticken, on Ethereum with a humanitarian foundation at its core. The worst type of cryptos. Charity coins, stuff like that. I've never seen any of them do well, literally ever. I'm trying to think, can anybody name me one charity token in crypto that even did well for an extended period of time, like more than 3 months? I can't think of any. All right, I keep it going, expecting to see this chat moving, and it's just not moving. I don't know if they're all over at the members only stream for, you know, the Crypto Lifer, or if we're just actually that downtrodden on a Thursday here in the land of crypto. So Wisdomize is a Swiss-regulated AI-powered investment platform. So while everybody's gone, I'm still doing the stream for my own crypto IQ raising to stay on what's trending, and now I know what this project is when I wouldn't have known what this project is if I didn't. Knowledge is power, they say. Token generation event, the 13th of May, 2024. And it doesn't look good for price action. Again, nothing we go over is ever an indication or a head nod that you should invest. Never, ever. Because we look at a lot of different things. And look at the market cap, 120,000. I mean, been as high as 18.7 million. even though that's not very high for an all-time high market cap, the disparity is huge between those two things. I'd pretty much run as far away as I could from this project in its given state. Things can change, but I don't see it changing that much. Automated index funds for digital assets. Again, just like we were talking about our trading bots and stuff like that. Things that are automated, AI run, bots, if you will, they can be manipulated, right? And these type of people who are in these businesses, they could definitely take your money. And these type of things scare me a little bit because I've been involved in some. I've never put $500 in anything like this, but you know, yield year to date 100, so you get like $200 off of $500. It's not horrible, but I've seen a lot of these turn out to be scams, and I'm gonna assume that maybe people messed with this and they did not get what they wanted out of it, and therefore that's why it has 120,000 market cap. I think if it was doing really well, people would be flocking to it, because honestly, $200 on every $500, say you had $10,000, is actually a great return, but it doesn't seem like it delivers. That seems to be an issue. And I'm just speaking on speculation here. I don't actually know, but something's not right there. So Thena is the native liquidity layer or automated market maker, decentralized exchange. So we got another decentralized exchange. Is that what you're telling me? Big surprise. I'm shocked. Chart not looking real hot, just like a lot of things. Chart not looking so great. The 25th November 2024. 19 million in market cap, been as high as 306. Let's take a look at their website, Thena.fi, the ultimate decentralized exchange. I know all of you believe that. All right, let's go to trade. They got spot, perps, cross chain, and of course you could buy crypto through them. Let's say I wanted to go to perps, right? Because that's something we should all be a little bit more familiar with. Now it actually takes me to a Web3 version. It looks pretty comparable to just about anything. Of course, you want to drop down, take a look at the list of coins you can trade. And there is quite a few things in here. One thing I do find interesting about a lot of these dexes, and not this one, but a lot of them you'll go on and then they'll just be like tied in with Hyperliquid or something, right? Like they're just copying and bringing it over to their website. And then you got to wonder, are you really even trading through them, or are you just basically trading Hyperliquid? At that point, you should just go to Hyperliquid. Anyways, this has a lot of pairs. I'm impressed. I still haven't hit the bottom. And I'm scrolling like as fast as I possibly can. I'm not hitting the bottom. So you could trade a lot of different things on here. So that's a big bonus, right? It's a big plus for them. I don't really know all the ins and outs. Of course, you got a chart. You got your, long, short, position, size, cross. The things you would be used to seeing. Say they have some analytics here, trade volume, revenue, but is this just for their website, user activity? All right, well, I don't know why you'd care that much about that. I'd want more like analytics for, specific coins that I might be trading. That would be more interesting to me. Let's move along here. Let's see, Sign. We've talked about it a lot. They want to help big government make CBDCs for all of us to enjoy. I don't even know what real crypto people would care about that at all. All right, Nibiru is new on the radar. I'm hoping something is a little more exciting than the last ones we looked at. And the first thing I'm going to do is go back and see how long the project's been around, because that tells me a lot about a project. All these charts looking the same, and apparently this thing had its day in the sun very early on, $2.13, and that was the 11th of March 2024. Right now it has a 3.7 million market cap. It's been as high as 81. Nibiru chain is a layer 1 blockchain and financial hub. The hub part might be a little bit of an exaggeration. Things that are a hub of activity do not have a $3 million market cap. Nibiru is where yield lives. Again, you can only take what they say on their website so far. It's like a salesman who comes and knocks on your door. They're going to tell you everything that they think you want to hear in order to sell you on something. Where apps with sustainable yield come standard. Okay. So they're only letting things with a lot of yield on them, huh? Do they have? Okay, they do have an app. Let's launch that. See what that's about. That's usually where all the real sauce is. Connect a wallet. fund account. So yeah, that's just my portfolio stake. Are they really not going to let you look at anything? Apparently they'll give you 18% APR, which I don't know. That would be good in most terms if they actually can deliver. We got a Nibiru block party. Earn aura max points and climb the leaderboard. So sounds like some kind of giveaway, something like that. Looks like there maybe have some partnerships with a couple other small projects I've never heard of. Nibiru app. So it looks like they probably have a mobile app maybe as well. Abracadabra, Layer Bank, OmniSwap, Banker. Or that's not Banker, that's Barquette. Interesting. Alright, looks like they're trying to put an ecosystem together here. I don't recognize a lot of this stuff, so this is probably really under the radar. Is it that new, or is it already come out and nobody cared? Sometimes that's what it feels like, for sure. Stuff like this comes out, didn't get a lot of traction, nobody really used it. Maybe it was a time when crypto wasn't that exciting, and then it just didn't make it. And then these projects are just still around, right? They're still on the blockchain, they're still there, but they just don't have the usage, they don't have the excitement. Let's actually drop down to the top 50. Let's add some more. See if we see anything interesting hanging out here that we haven't looked at, or just looks like we should take a look at. Lobstar, that's not really worth looking at. Of course, I love espresso. Yeah, pretty lackluster on the what's trending today. Let's go take a look at our top gainers, top losers. Deadwood says, I got hit with an ad right away. Fairly meddling. Sorry it took so long. Had to feed the dog. No worries, no worries. Chris goes in the building. 333, my fellow lifer. Givers gain. And let's go get our top gainers, top losers of the day. And you know, when you stream, I hear the lifer say this a lot. When you stream every day like he does, or me 6 days a week, there's gonna be days where it's just not hot fire. Like, you know, where it's not just like the most amazing thing ever. And those are the days where I feel like you really gain. Now, I used to do a lot of martial arts, did for 20 plus years, and my instructors, honestly, in every type of martial art I ever did, they'd always say the same thing. The day that you didn't feel like going to class, the day you showed up to class and you didn't feel like doing anything, were always the days where you progressed the most, where you learned the most, where it's, you know, it clicked the most. And I find that true. So it's always good to push through when you don't feel like showing up. Maybe that's going to work. Maybe you wake up, you don't want to go to work. That might be your best day at work. That might be the day you get the boss's attention and, you know, earn a little bit of his trust and get a raise or something. You never know what the opportunity could be, but if you don't show up, that's less opportunity. Trillions is up a lot. This is worth looking at, even though it's probably a meme coin or something like that. My goodness. I just want to look at it via market cap. So it had a market cap of about 485,000, and then it immediately had a market cap of 22.3 million. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I mean, instantly too. And sure, you could look at the price, 0.30 and then a 4 to 0.02. I mean, if you knew about it, you were able to get into it. It's phenomenal. It's a meme coin. Trading bots. They must have, you know, rather they're not legitimate and this is just some, you know, wash trading or something like that. I don't know. I guess wash trading wouldn't stick to a market cap. Anyways, my point is something doesn't seem right. I remember the lifer many times saying that if a chart is square in a step pattern, probably not something you want to mess with. And this just has one step, right? And it just went straight up. Again, if you would have known about it and got in, that would be amazing. As far as gains go, it is on the XPL network. This is a plasma coin. It's a meme. And it does have to do with trading bots, which leads me to think maybe they had a bunch of money come in. Somebody with big money came in because maybe they had a trading bot accessible that was actually pretty good, and somebody wanted to put $22 million in it. And there are people with money out there that can throw that type of thing around. If you're a billionaire, you don't really care about 22 million, right? Not a big deal. You could lose it. Trillion slogan of plasma, 50 million all-time high, 50,000 all-time high. I don't know what they're talking about. It doesn't have an all-time high of 50. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. Let's go back. We were very dialed in here on the 24-hour chart. Let's go to the max chart. Okay. So yeah. Let's look at this. Even there though, that's only a market cap of 32.9 million, not 50. Really what I wanted to see is here, like 200 or 2,400 followers, 1.7 thousand impressions on a pinned post from March 1st, so like 18 days ago. It's easy math. I don't know. Their posts are very AI. Not a lot of effort or work, I would say, put into them. All right. It went up a lot today. How about that? I'm happy for anybody who made some money off of it. I hope you can actually pull it out if you actually made that much money. I hope that there's the liquidity there to even get out of it. The biggest loser of the day is only down 20%. So let that speak for itself. Let that speak volumes, right? The biggest loser of the day is only down 20%. Now, the biggest gainer of the day is up 4,363%, but it's an outlier, and there's something funky going on there, right? For sure. But if you kind of negate trillions, Everlyn, Unify, Templar, again, Subnet, every time you see that SN, think Tau or BitTensor. Zano's not been a strong project. It got delisted off of MEXC Global, and I think you have to suck pretty hard to get delisted off of MEXC Global. That's just not normal. Wax P, man, that takes me back. Anybody know anything about the Wax blockchain? No fees on the Wax blockchain. ERC20 Wax tokens have been swapped to Wax protocol tokens. I have no idea where my tokens stand when it comes to that. I should check that out sometime, but I have to pull up my other computer to do that. All right. Showing off those custom emojis. Thank you very much. You get those from being a member. Not a whole lot of other things that I want to talk about, so let's jump quickly to our story of the night. I feel it. Probably going to be a short stream tonight. Not a lot of people here. They're probably, again, all over at the members live stream. Yeah, Wax was cool. I did a lot of things on Wax. There was a lot of things that were popping over there. I don't really know how they fared since then. I still have money staked over there. It's not a lot. It's probably like $200. So when people think about crypto, they usually think about transactions, sending tokens, interacting with smart contracts, using applications. But behind every transaction, there's something more fundamental: data. Every transaction generates data. So obviously we're talking a lot about data tonight. And I did kind of tell everybody that was coming up. Hopefully data doesn't sound too, I guess, overwhelming to you. So if every transaction generates data, and for a system to remain trustworthy, that data has to be accessible, hence DA or data accessibility. Not just a few participants, but to anyone who wants to verify the system. In early blockchains, this wasn't a problem. Everything happened on one chain. All the data was stored and verified in the same place. It was easy that way. But as systems evolved, things began to change. Rollups started processing transactions off-chain. Execution moved away from the base layer. This made systems faster and more efficient, of course, as we've talked about yesterday, but it also introduced a new question. Where does all the data go? If transactions are processed somewhere else, how can anyone verify them? This is where data availability became critical. Rollups published their data so that anybody could check it, but storing and distributing that data at scale is not simple. As usage grows, the amount of data increases, and it's forever increasing, right? The data is never decreasing on any network. And ensuring that data remains accessible becomes more difficult. To solve this, new systems are being built specifically for data availability. We've talked a lot about modular blockchain versus monolithic blockchain, if you've been following along. These systems don't focus on execution or complex smart contracts. They focus on one thing: making sure data is availability. That's all that part of the chain does. Techniques like data availability sampling allow networks to verify large data sets efficiently. Instead of downloading everything, nodes can sample pieces of the data and still confirm its integrity. This changes how scalability works. And again, scalability in blockchain or Web3 applications is a big pain point for the whole blockchain technology, and there's a lot of people trying to solve it with a lot of different methods. So instead of pushing everything onto one chain, responsibilities are distributed. Execution happens in one place, settlements in another, and data is handled by a specialized layer. This layer approach allows crypto systems to scale in ways that were not possible before, but it also introduces more complexity, the drawback of modular blockchain. Multiple layers must coordinate, users must move between systems, and the architecture becomes hard to understand, especially for any normal person who's not a developer. Still, this shift represents one of the most important changes in crypto, because without data availability, none of these systems can even function. And let's roll up to our talking points here, so we got those ready. All right, so what data availability means, and we're going to come back to that in just a moment. Let me check out this Fogo miner real quick. Camsta says, give me the data, UG. Hey, I'm working on it. First, I got to make sure you understand the foundation of what data is and why it's so important. Or not what data is, but in a blockchain, data accessibility. That's what I'm really trying to hammer home here. And I'm just going to cool off and play a round of Panzer's Dogs like it's casual. Like it was a Friday. Look at that influx. People are running in now. They saw we were doing the IQ raising event, and they just all wanted to be here. Shout out to anybody who's running in. Smash that like button. We went over what was trending on the day. Have you seen Trillions? It's a meme coin, and it's up like 4,000% today. Even on a pretty flat day, there's always an outlier, right? There's always something that is just bumping for no reason, or something that just fell off a cliff. Shout out to Pippin. And shout out to Camsta. It's so funny. A lot of our people in our community become very connected to like a token because they mention it a lot, or they're bullish on it or something of that nature. Not saying Camsta's super bullish on Pippin. I'm not saying that. But he does always react whenever Pippin is brought up. So I guess, Camsta, you get to be the knight of Pippin, since we have a king of Flare and a queen of Monad. He's like, I don't want that title. He's like, don't give me that title. Oof, can I get him? Nope, his friend stepped in, blocked him. We're lagging. And it's a quiet night tonight for crypto. When will crypto, be fun again? I'm gonna become like the Trump of crypto, and I'm gonna make crypto fun again. That would be a hilarious thumbnail and title. I might just do that, right? Do a whole series on what it'll take to make crypto fun again. Because let's be honest, crypto, for a lot of normies who are not here for the decades of innovation and problems in the world that'll be fixed. A lot of them just wanted to make a lot of money overnight. They didn't really care too much about this, that, or the other. And for them, they're very disappointed and probably have lost some money. I wouldn't doubt that either. Man. Oof, he almost got me. I want no losses in this game, for sure. Hit that health. Came to the wrong place. Pretty sure somebody was hiding out in here. Maybe they already ran away. There he is. All right, that's a round. And what else does anybody want to talk about? Anybody have any thoughts tonight? What's going on with Bitcoin? Anybody? Go over here and port us over to TradingView, which I guess I don't have up. There it is. All right, let's take a look. I wouldn't really want to look at it on the hour. I guess I'd want to look at it more like the 4 hour. Feels like a rounded bottom, right? This kind of really reminds me of another time. Let me see if I can find it. I guess I'll leave that. Whatever. Let's go to like the 8 hour. That'll make life a little simpler. I guess it kind of reminds me of this this time period we had here, which did eventually lead to a big pump. But, you know, it wouldn't have felt that great for a while. Like, we really went sideways for a long time here before finally getting a pump. And then you would have pumped to like 98 and then fallen directly back. You know, look at the difference. Or look at how much, like, we pumped here, and then this is coming out of this roundedness. It's like the most significant time if you didn't see it, other than, say, here. But also right here actually looks a lot like it too. So what is going on? You know what I mean? That becomes the question that everybody wants to know. Is it setting up for an inverted head and shoulder on something like the 8 hour? I mean, can we call this a shoulder? Shoulder, head, shoulder, maybe? Be very interesting to see. These are just my thoughts. I highly don't recommend anybody making any trades based off of what I'm saying. You know, right here I thought we had a little bit of a cup and handle. And I mean, it would have played out for you pretty well, let's be honest. Because I mean the bottom, nobody usually gets the bottom. That's 65,849. But if you got in somewhere like here at 68,000, you did run up as high as 75.9. Maybe you could get out, you know, more reasonably, like maybe 74,000. We hung out there a lot more. So that actually would have been a great trade, but it would have took some time. It would have took days. And are we there again? That's what everybody probably wants to know. Is this a falling wedge of some sort? You know, and you're just starting to get the breakout, but this breakout, probably not dramatic. We have a whole Friday and weekends to go through, pretty much Thursday after 2 to 3 o'clock at best, usually more like noon. You know, the gambit's over until Monday. Then you get false move Monday, so really nothing all that exciting until about Monday night as far as like entering a trade. And that's very much going off of what the lifer has taught me. And with that being so, I don't know if there's a whole lot else that's really all that great to look at. We got espresso on the 4 hour, very much just hitting that 786. Bounced off it, bounced off it, bounced off it, broke under it. Looks like bearishly retesting like that 786. How much lower can it go? Again, pulling from this impulse over here. And I think that's about all the TA that's really worth doing right this second. Just wanted to make sure we looked at Bitcoin on the stream. And I'm going to do the talking points, because I'm going to do my due diligence, that's for sure. No matter what the market's doing, I really am trying to, you know, hammer that home to everybody, that we are going to be continuing to move on no matter what is going on. So what data availability means, or DA it's usually represented as, right? It's not usually written out as data availability. Data availability refers to ensuring that all transaction data is accessible for verification by the network. Without access to this data, the system cannot verify or confirm where transactions are valid. Why it matters for rollups, which we spent a lot of time talking about yesterday. Rollups process transactions off-chain, but they must publish data so that it can be verified of all the transactions. Without data availability, rollups cannot be trusted. The hidden problem. If data is not available, validators and users cannot reconstruct the state of a system. This creates a huge risk where invalid transactions could go undetected and you would have an exploit in the system. It could cost millions of dollars. It could be literally the end of a network, right? So traditional blockchain versus data availability layers. So traditionally, blockchains handled execution, settlement, and data all together on one chain. Now we've talked, that's a monolithic blockchain right there. Modular blockchain is a little bit different. So data availability layers focus specifically on storing and distributing data efficiently, and that's all they do. There's a perk to it because they do it so efficiently. There's also a flaw because now you've made everything more complex. When something breaks, it can be a little bit harder to put it back together. So data availability sampling. New techniques like data availability sampling allow nodes to verify large data sets without downloading everything. This improves scalability. Modular stack roll. In a modular architecture, everything has its own layer. You see rollups equal execution, base layer is settlement and security, and data availability is, of course, data. Each plays a separate role. Emerging data networks. New networks are being designed specifically for data availability. These systems prioritize throughput and accessibility of data. What are the trade-offs though? Data availability layers introduce trade-offs like complexity, reliance on multiple systems, and coordination challenges. Why this changes everything. Data availability allows systems to scale without sacrificing verification. It enables the modular architecture to function. And the core insight or the big takeaway, data availability is the foundation that allows rollups and layers systems to operate securely. Another thing I'll say is that data availability is one of the core components that you just can't get away from. If you can't verify anything on a network, then nothing on a network is real and everything is useless. So data availability is a really big deal, even if it does seem a little techie and like not something retail is going to get all excited about, right? They come out with some new technology around data availability. It rarely reaches your average crypto investor. You know, definitely not your meme core degens, meme core degens, yeah, or just meme coin degens. Either one. They're all the same people. And like I said, seems like I'm going to be wrapping up the show tonight. You know, you got to know when it's on, when it's hot, and when it's not, when to hold them, when to fold them. And tonight is one of those nights where it seems like you should probably just fold them. And what always happens is then wherever people are, right when I'm like, I'm going to get off, you'll see a huge influx of people coming to the stream. And I'll feel like I should stay on, but I won't. Because where were you guys at 8:30 New York time? No, I'm just playing. I'm not going to be like that. If anything, I kind of get like an easy night. I don't have to go for 2 hours and entertain y'all. But I'll be back again tomorrow, DeFi Friday, one of my favorite streams. We've been doing a lot of deep diving on a Friday. And finding all kinds of different cool games and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I think next week I'm going to chill because we went pretty hard this week, in my opinion, on the talking points, and we went in depth a little bit, probably more than most people could handle. It kind of amazes me. I'm not going to lie. I hope a lot of my main people are starting to feel a little bit more confident about this information and knowing what the heck I'm talking about when I do the talking point stuff. To me, this stuff doesn't seem all that complex, but it's because I've been over it a bunch of times. So what I was getting at is next week, I think we're gonna go over some ecosystems. We're gonna look at stuff like that. If we are gonna continue next week to maybe get some bullishness in crypto, and we are bottomed out, and we're actually gonna move up and not go back down lower, like we are at the bottom of a bear trend or bear market, it'd probably be good to walk into some ecosystem type stuff and see where it's popping and where is the most building going on, because that's where the excitement's most likely going to go. In my experience and opinion, the excitement usually goes to where everybody is focused, and that's where a lot of people are building cool stuff. It's coming out, people are hearing about it, they're going over to that ecosystem, whatever it is, Avalanche, Sui, Solana, whatever it is, and that's where a lot of your focus is going to be concentrated, and that is where, you know, those tokens are going to do the best. What is going on with my thing? It says, thank you for the crypto data info. Absolutely. And I think data availability is actually like a really obvious and kind of easy thing to understand. It's data, it's available, it needs to be available, it's a critical part of infrastructure in a blockchain network. Without it, everything else is unverified, and basically who knows if any of it's legitimate, and that pretty much destroys everything. Yes, I enjoy the info. It just needs to soak into my head like yours. Hey, it takes time. It takes time for sure. And it won't be the first, or, well, it's not the first, and it won't be the last time we go over data availability. Because, again, I know that, you know, maybe people don't make every stream, but also you got to hear things several times before you actually start feeling confident and putting it together in real time. There's a big difference between knowledge and in real time being able to use this information to help you make better judgment on different things. It's like if a new blockchain comes out and there's a lot of hype, and then they give you a rundown of how the consensus is or how the blockchain's going to work, and you immediately can see some pretty obvious flaws in the consensus. You might not invest in it, you might save yourself, or vice versa. You might see something totally genius that they're going to do, something revolutionary, and most of the masses won't see it until much later. If they ever see it, they'll just see the price go up for the big players who invest in it, who get it, And it could make you a bunch of money. And that's what we're here for. Opportunity, speculation, increasing that IQ so that we can maybe understand what maybe some of the whales see way ahead of us. Can I get him? There he goes. Got another one. Tried to steal my health. That wasn't nice of him. I wonder where Blue's guy is. I haven't seen Blue's guy yet. Hopefully he's not working late. Dang, it's 3-3. My team's really sucking here. They're not helping me. If anything, they're hindering me. Got him. Come on, don't let him get it. And he got the health. I don't know why. Every time I stream, I am suddenly starving. Even if I ate recently, which I didn't, but if I had, I would still be starving. I don't know what that is about. Is there something about talking that like burns more calories or something? I don't know. It's a theory. I'm putting it together. I want to see what the back end of YouTube says. Yeah, it's always different. It says there's 8 people here, and on my phone it says there's 6 people here. Not that it matters, but I do see that. Well, I could hang out and play some games, but we're going to do that tomorrow. It's DeFi Friday tomorrow. I will say that Chainers has upgraded, and it's a little bit different. I can't say that I like it. I guess I'll get used to it at some point, but I don't know. Maybe I'll like it more over time. You kind of got to click and hold everything down, or it doesn't. Before you would just click it and it would go. That was all you had to do. My ADHD addiction. What's up? What's up, man? Thanks for coming through. Haven't seen you in a while. Slow stream tonight. I hope everything is going well for you in the land of social media. Yeah, back at you, ADHD. Which I'm sure you have with a name like that. You must consider yourself ADHD. I'm sure I am. Going completely undiagnosed. That's kind of my style. But I'm sure that I do. ETF by now, I reckon. Yeah. If we could get some bullishness going on, I mean, in some of the geopolitical stuff, I never know what I can and can't say on YouTube, and I'm not really one for the censorship. And again, I'm being legit. I don't really know if I'm allowed to say it or not. But when it comes to like the Iran war and stuff like that, if we could get that to wrap up and it's not a disaster, the stuff I see online, I'm just like, I don't know what world you guys live in. And I'm not even going to tell you, how I feel about it necessarily. But because I don't want to get into it for YouTube's sake. But if that could wrap up without being some kind of political or, it doesn't even have to be a disaster, just mainstream media or something making it something crazy. If that can get wrapped up and things can get back to normal and they're like effectively not a problem moving forward, then there you go. We could get to normal there, have some ETFs come out, some of the crypto stuff, legislative that we've been waiting on and stuff come out positive. That could be a catalyst. I mean, remember this bull run really started with Bitcoin ETFs. That's what really did it. And overall, looking back, do we feel like those Bitcoin ETFs were a positive? Because like Bitcoin had its day in the sun. It went from, 15,000 to 128,000. Hindsight's 2020. I certainly wish I would have known that. I would have positioned myself better. I had the chance to buy, Bitcoin or go into altcoins. I had been through a cycle and things. Altcoins were far better performers. I think a lot of retail agreed and thought it'd be smart to invest in altcoins over Bitcoin, and altcoins did nothing. They did absolutely garbage this bull. I don't even want to call it a bull run. I mean, BTC had a bull run. Does that mean that there's more coiled up and suppressed interest? Was there a lot of shenanigans that caused this? The big players in their ETFs, they wanted to keep money flowing into Bitcoin. Is it because of new players? Again, there's a lot of things you could point to. I don't think anybody has a definitive answer unless you're really tapped in somewhere in the financial sector. But either way, what I'm trying to say is I'm really hoping the next bullish cycle that we get is going to look a lot nicer for these altcoins, because I don't think people really wanted altcoins. Basically, what I feel like what happened is retail never came in. It was a lot of self-serving interest when it comes to the big players, and I don't think that the retail ever really got all that excited about crypto this cycle, which could lead to a much bigger cycle. It's not like they're never going to be pulled in. It's not like all the big players that stacked up over this cycle, all the ETF and all that, they're going to want to sell it to people eventually, and they want the dumb money. They want to make their money off of all the dumb money. So eventually there you'll see the crypto commercials running again. You'll see people on the street corners talking about Shiba Inu. Yeah. That's when you know they're ready to dump on all of the normies again. And hopefully that's when I'll be selling too. Who would have thought that the altcoin season top was like the end of 2024? And is the 4-year cycle dead? I mean, to me it kind of feels that way, but it could be intact and we just didn't have the altcoin season runoff. I know you guys have heard me talk about this stuff before. Sorry, when I'm playing this game, it's like impossible for me to look at the chat, but I made it over 1,000, so that's all I really care about. Let's see. Was live like you, bro. Nice. Says Melissa, big up people. Definitely going up to 10K ETF, not BTC yet. Okay. We got 4 years, bro. The bottom is now. 95% of BTC already gone. Don't sleep. I'm on it. Sweet people. I'm off. Talk soon. Just got done a live first on there. All right, man. Well, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by after your live. I'm going to hop off too here. It's a slow night. Hopefully your stream was kicking more than this one. Oh, I got 110 CFB. So random. I'll take it though. It's probably the most CFB I've ever had. And let's go sell whatever assets we've farmed. Again, Chainer's upgrade. I love to see, even if I don't really love what they did here, I love to see a project innovating, right? Doing something. I think they did all of this for mobile. Chainers is available for mobile for anybody who didn't know. It's just as simple on mobile as it is here. This is all, I bet all of this stuff works better on mobile. But anyways, we come over to the stand. I'm going to sell for BNB. All of it. Let's go. And just keep stacking. I get all of it for free, so I certainly can't be mad about it. I'd love to know how much I actually have. 0.008. I don't think it's worth a ton, but whatever. It's free. And then, of course, the FOGO phishing. Oh, let's do our on-chain stuff for the Robinhood testnet. Deploy a smart contract. GM. Apparently, I'm not logged in. Had to restart my computer quite a few times to get my webcam to work. I don't know what's up with the webcam. Very annoying. I have 2 webcams, and they're both very annoying. Let's reload this, though. It's definitely been 7 minutes. It's been like 2 hours. There we go. Yeah, we got 4 years, bro. The bottom is now. All right. I think we already did this. I don't think it's going to let us do this again, but we'll try. Oh, it's successful. All right. And with that, guys, I'm going to hop off. The one thing I wanted to say is the Fogo fishing is fun because you catch rare fish and they're actual NFTs. You can see them show up in your wallet. It's a nice add. Again, when things are integrating, I know that they're moving forward. I know that they're doing something. Like you can see all the fish I've caught. That I like to see. I still never found this. Somebody, if you can, try to find this Fogo farm. I can't find Fogo farm anywhere, but I got a drop for it, so I'd like to at least be able to go over and interact with the tokens that they gave me. And with that, I will say goodbye once again, but this time for real. I will see everybody tomorrow, DeFi Friday. Shout out to all of my mods. Shout out to all the people who help me run this community. And stay underground, stay crypto. Crypto Ron out.